Hey y'all, it's your girl Sia, and I'm back with another video, y'all. So I think I started to do a video earlier, and I do apologize. My phone was essentially telling me that my computer, like it was slow, and that it was having issues connecting. And then my friend called, and I did not mean to like do a whole video of the phone call. Hopefully, I did not. Y'all, I am sick. I'm not sick. I am just amazed. Again, I have a feeling that we're, like I keep telling you guys, we're going to start to see more and more and more things pick up. And I really want to talk about that because as a woman, my rights as a woman are on the line. The image that the evangelicists or whatever, however you say their names, have proposed for women is very similar to what we see in the TV show A Handmaid's Tale. I, as a woman, refuse, okay, to be put in that situation, right? I want men to leave me alone. I want the government to leave me alone, essentially, right? So I want to really speak on some of the things that I felt like were interesting today that were kind of breaking and coming out. So first things first, we have White or Charleston White, freaking weirdo. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I don't know why males follow this guy. In my head, like I understand the fame level and people like looking at the money and stuff, but this individual has a past that, in my opinion, is nothing to really boast about or be proud about. Really, okay. Now, with that being said, I'm going to play a video and I should not be playing it for y'all because Lord knows, right? I was pretty triggered when I heard some of the things that were said, okay? I will say this. This man, when I play this video, you guys, I'm not gonna like play the physical video, but obviously I'm gonna try to do my best with the audio. When you guys listen to this, I want you to be honest with yourselves and ask yourselves if this individual was a Caucasian male, what would we be labeling him as, right? Because I am appalled, not only appalled, but um I don't follow this guy. I want to be very, very clear. I don't really follow this guy. Okay. He pops up in my feed at times. But this was interesting because the video had been brought to my attention. Okay. Now, this is the reason why Black women of all women should be voting for Kamala Harris. And right now, I understand the logic, y'all, because let me tell you, her first speech, let's get on Kamala real quick. Her first speech, I'm not one for a kissing. Okay. I'm not one to be trying to suck up to somebody. You already know that's not my personality type. So when I heard her repeatedly talking about Biden, we love you, Joe. We love you, Biden. I'm like, girl, if you don't stop like that, she's gotta, I don't know. I feel like to some degree, it could be a little nerve wracking, right? Because now you're put in a hot seat, but you're put in one of the most powerful hot seats you could ever be in, right? And I don't know that she was truly prepared for this decision. And I question if she even ever wanted it, right? Because while I understand people are saying, well, she got to the top pretty quick, I don't give a fuck how she got to the top. And like, like women aren't doing what people are accusing her of doing all damn day long. Okay. Caucasians and blacks. Okay. Let's keep it a buck. Okay. So the fact that that's even a conversation when the conversation is brought back to her body, that's a problem to me. And Candace Owens is a woman first. I don't give a damn. Her body is nobody else's business. And what she chooses to do with her body is not anyone else's concern because obviously she's done something to be able to get to where she's at, and she's been able to do it better than a lot of folks that are running their mouths, and quicker too, apparently. That's what they say, right? To me, that's not an L. That's a win. I don't see her leveling up or her come up as a loss. This woman is one of the most powerful women, if not the powerful, the most powerful woman right now in America, regardless if you like her or not. Argue with me. You try to go for that seat then. Bet you won't. Bet you can't. So sometimes we gotta acknowledge that people are where they are. And regardless of how they got there, they were cunning and smart enough to get there. That's the point. Hello? Now, does that mean that she should be praised just because she's there? Not necessarily. Okay. However, men are putting women in a bad position. And so women have to take an extreme stance. We don't even have another option. Like, there is no option for us. We have been given zero options. This is how bad this is. When you have women who don't really low-key support Kamala, but they gonna vote for her anyway, just because of the direction in which males are taking things. Okay? And so Charleston White is one of those males. And I want to be clear, for those of y'all who want to be like, well, it's not all men, it's enough of you guys. It's enough. It's enough, so much so where women are like, heck no, I don't care. I'm choosing my team, bro. I don't care. I don't care what these folks have done. They're not trying to impede upon my personal human rights. I'm a human first. I have human rights. I don't care what the fuck a male says, because you ain't God, homie. See what I'm saying? So for me, I need to be able to have free will. If I want to be a slave, let me be a slave, but you don't force me into enslavement. I'm sorry. As a woman, I'm not sure how well that's going to work for me and my temperament. Because I promise you, I would be the wife, right, that suddenly became a widow. I'm dead ass. See, I don't play those games. You put me in a situation that I don't want to be in, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm taking some people down with me in the process. And I'm going to find a way out. That's how I've always been. So as a woman, there is absolutely no way I can justify that trumps everything. That trumps the economy, that trumps inflation. My human rights come above all other arguments at this point. That's how serious this is. So I wasn't too impressed with the first. And then they got this clip. So let me tell you, Kamala be doing it wrong to herself, because they got a clip. I will say she did better in this Indianapolis speech than she did that first speech. But there's a saying that Kamala always says, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't get it either. Okay, but they be replaying it and talking about it, and I just find it so funny because she actually said those things and they really don't make sense, but she believes that it makes some sense. So I don't know, right? In the speech, the first speech, she just sounded not strong enough. It gave me that impression, like, I don't know. I feel like she rushed, excuse me, to speak. And so it wasn't giving, and that's just the honest to God truth, right? I wasn't feeling that first speech. This Indianapolis speech was interesting. Okay. I will say this. I kind of started to feel like, okay, somebody done taught you something. Because I feel like that was better than the first one, right? She still doesn't really go, and she went into a little bit more detail, right? And I feel like, again, considering the timing of her entry of this election, I mean, she's gonna be less seasoned, I would assume. Like, she's going to make mistakes. She's going to kind of like, be timid at first or whatever, because she ain't had time to plan or groom for this. She's got to learn how to get with it immediately. So to hold her accountable, really, it's one of those things that you can kind of justify in your head, because you're like, girl, like, okay, you coming to save us. Hopefully, man, these men are crazy. I just, I don't know. And then the way the media is attacking her, let me tell you guys something. They are attacking her. And understandably, let me tell you something about who she is, right? Because I would love to see her in a debate. I forget that's what she does for a living. She argues for a living. She has been arguing her whole life. That is what she specializes in, arguing. So I'm very interesting. I'm very, because with all the attack coming from the right, knowing this lady really just got started. Like, she ain't, and I'm not saying she doesn't, like, I get how campaigns work. But I'm also like, damn, can y'all give it a week? These motherfuckers already at it everywhere you go. And the problem is, I'm subscribed to all this nonsense. I don't want to unsubscribe, because I feel like I've always kept, I love hearing both sides. However, I cannot listen to disrespect of anyone who kind of looks like me, or my auntie, or my sister. Like, realistically, deep down, that don't feel good. So I believe, and this is just because of who she is and where her background is. She's been a prosecutor before. She's been the woman that has locked up people before. So the attacks may or may not really, offend her very, you know what I mean? Like, not in the way that it would me, right? Maybe, right? But I know she's going to have a lot of them. So she's got to remain strong. She's got to sound confident, like that. She got to work on that part. But she's got to be able to really convince the people that she's strong enough. And I believe that she is. I believe that we see a timid forefront, but I don't believe that woman is timid. There's no way you're a prosecutor, bro, and you're timid. Not in the way that I think that she's kind of playing it, which is smart. If I think that, if I was in her shoes, I probably would be humble. I probably wouldn't engage in unnecessary rhetoric that doesn't need to happen, which she's doing. I'm not going to throw insults. I'm going to state what I feel are the facts and keep it pushing. And that's actually what she's doing. That's the proper way to handle this. See, because the other side are men. See, when you understand how emotional men are, you will understand why it's important for her to move the way that she moves. And she moves in a way that's non-threatening to women as well. This ain't just men, right? She moves in a way that's non-threatening. And I genuinely believe that is her tactic. Her tactic is to be the underdog. She is the girl that people believe cannot win, but I put money on it she's going to win. See, because when women want something done, we get it done. I don't think folks understand. Women are multipliers. We know how to make, shake, and move and make things happen. And women all across the world are watching this, and American women are intelligent enough to know what's happening. See, we're different than men in the way that we're not going to sit and complain for too long. We're actually going to make a change. And the reason why the situation with Kamala is so important is because it prevents certain situations from happening. It's not, I don't know what to tell people. So you have this Charleston white guy, and I want to go back to him because he is the prime example as to why many women are choosing Kamala, regardless of how they feel about Kamala. Okay. I'm gonna play this for you. But in this case, he's disrespecting black women. He's disrespecting his mama. He's disrespecting his sister. He's disrespecting his grandmother. Do you understand me? How dare he? So I'm gonna play this and I'm gonna get back to it. Hang on.
I wouldn't vote for no black. Man, listen, I was raised by black women. I got a grandmother, I got black sisters, but I wouldn't dare put no black woman in no motherfucking position of the White House.
So my thing is, why wouldn't you put a black woman in position as president? Why wouldn't you? Black women are some of the most, again, who we are. I mean, despite the lies that have been told, we're actually very powerful individuals. And I think people take us more seriously than they do some of these other women. Hence, Hillary Clinton, right? I think that people really believe that Kamala has an opportunity, even as a quote unquote, excuse me, black woman, which we all know she is not. Even he knows she's not. He did a video where he's still telling folks that she's a fake black woman. Well, then what the fuck then? Use the terminology that you utilize in that video, right? Because how is it first she wasn't a real black woman and now you're talking about a black woman in presidency, and it's in such a degrading and negative way. I can't even, whatever. Let's get back to it.
Commander-in-Chief of the military, a black woman. Not only that, a mixed black married to a white man.
So a mixed black B married to a white man. He didn't even have enough respect. See, this is the problem. You calling women B's? And what's crazy is if he does have women in his life, women are supporting this bullshit. The women who are black, 9 times out of 10, are supporting this rhetoric.
Her pH balance is way off with that white.
Again,
you can't make me believe.
Why are we talking? First of all, and I wish she would see this and just go after him for defamation of character or something. Because why the fuck are you talking about a woman's pH balance on fucking TikTok? You don't know the woman from a can of paint, but you attack her and her body. The fuck? Excuse me? Because that's intelligent, right? Not okay. But this is the epitome of what a lot of black men do, right? They love to attack women for our physical, right? Instead of who we are. Like, you're so focused on what's in between my legs than you are just being a good person. This ain't no man I would want a relationship with at all. I don't care how much money he got in the bank. This is not marriage material. Do you understand me? And I'm just putting it out there for women so women understand. The moment a man refers to a woman as a B, he sees her as an object that he can mistreat and do whatever the hell he wants to. Okay? Not okay.
Hell no. This man Kamala Harris got a white boy. Her pH balance is off and her mental instability got to be off.
This man really got issues, right? He comes from a past where we could arguably say that he's got mental health issues, possibly too. Where the fuck do you get off on talking about Kamala? I mean, because clearly her mental issues, regardless of what people like or don't like, put her where she's at today. Just saying.
All pH balance, unless she's sneaking in. Now, if she's sneaking in, nigga.
This is how he talks about a woman. And he's doing it on fucking TikTok, bro. And women will still cater to this man. Dumb ass fucking women, bro, will cater to this nonsense. It's crazy to me. He's talking about a woman's body on TikTok, bro, that you never met, that you don't even know. Like, you're really at this point just making some shit up. Maybe her pH balances might be quite healthy. She ain't dealing with no ninjas that are, sticking their thing and everything. How about that? So it's very bizarre to me that that's the level that men stoop to, to try to downgrade a black woman. Regardless if you like this woman or not, this is one of the highest positions that they say. And again, I understand that she's not really black, in my opinion. Okay. Black is reserved for Americans only. And, I don't know. Right. I know the history behind that. I know that her mom is Indian and then her dad is Jamaican and some old stuff. I get people's claims that she's just partially black. I just think she happened to grew up with black people and or in black culture. Okay. Which could very well just be poverty. Like, or not saying she's, maybe she wasn't in poverty. So I don't want to say that. Maybe she was middle class, right? Because she went to Howard University, right? Which, in my opinion, allows her to kind of, when you look at older pictures of her, she looked like she looked like a Jada Pinkett, kind of. I mean, she ain't, but she looked like that type. You wouldn't really know that she was from India, I think, if you didn't really sit down and ask her, right? It's easy to assume that she's, well, maybe not from India, but her heritage or whatever you want to call it, ethnicity, whatever y'all want to call it. I don't think you would know. I don't think that you would know. And she looked very ingrained within the black culture. Not to say that she is for black people. Okay. Not saying that. So I'm not gonna play the rest of this clip. I just wanted to give y'all some context as to what the man was saying on TikTok, and what a lot of men say. These same men are going to vote for Trump. Oh no, I'm playing it. Hang on, y'all, because it gets worse. Hang on.
Then we might can let her be vice president. But there's no way, America. I'd rather for black people to go back to slavery than let a black woman run this goddamn country. Don't do it. Cause they listen, man, I'm against anything with a black woman running shit, motherfucker. And back in that bedroom and in the kitchen. But the White House, America, we can't.
What that nigga said? He said, that's a nigga. That ain't a man. He gonna say, I would rather go back to slavery than have a black woman running for president. That whatever need to be in the kitchen, cooking, in the house, cooking and cleaning. That's not a Handmaid's Tale conversation. Like, I don't really know what is, right? Let's keep it 1,000. That's Handmaid's Tale rhetoric off the rip. And there's plenty of men. If he's not voting for Kamala, who is he voting for? Because a male like this will vote. They don't have no choice. It's a lot of men who think like him. I don't know if it's enough to keep the, things the way that they need to go. There's a lot of men who think like him. Okay, hang on.
It is now. Hell no. Hell no. I'd rather have another motherfucking civil war before we let her be.
This nigga ain't even built for no civil war. Talking about he would much rather have a civil war before he lets a black woman become president. So what that tells me is he doesn't have enough love and respect for the black woman to see the black woman thrive and be successful. That's crazy. It's crazy.
Motherfucker got me fucked up. Go back and get.
But look how he talking though. He ain't shit.
Barack, if anything, find another mixed baby, but don't put no in there.
So put a ninja in there, but not a black woman, one of the most educated people, if not the most educated people in America. That makes no sense. But in another video, he was talking about how she was a fake black. So why are we talking about black women? See, it always boils back down to black women. He's racist against his own people, against himself, against himself. And then the clip that I watched earlier, he was talking about how, well, I got black mamas and I got black aunties, so trust me, did it. But I'm like, okay, so we need to send this video to your black mama. How about that? Send it to your black grandma and your black sister. I'm curious. I mean, if they support that shit, cool. There's a lot of women who do. The problem though is when women start to realize that your rights are taken away, these same women who support this bullshit now are gonna be the first ones crying tomorrow. Cause I already made it clear. If Trump, I gotta get my passport. I can't do that. I'm not gonna be in no Handmaid's Tale. I'm not built for it, and I'm not letting my daughter be it. So that's something I need to focus on within the next month or so. Like, I'm not freaking playing. Look, I will have to figure it out. I would rather try and figure it out somewhere else than to tolerate a society that would much rather walk all over me and treat me with disrespect. With Trump, we're only going to get more of that. Again, I don't know that Trump knows that these things are coming, but I'm sure he might. Who knows? I don't trust nobody at this point. Hell, I don't even really trust Kamala, but I know damn well there's going to be a stop in certain things that are happening as it pertains to women. There's going to be a stop in certain conversations that are being had as it pertains to women. I think that there's going to be a large possibly sector of men who are going to cause violence against black women more. And I think black women need to get prepared for that and understand that we're already dying by, being unalived at a very rapid rate. It's time to strap up. It's time for the woman king to step up. It's time for Wakanda to step up. Do you understand? It's time for the warrior of women to step up. It's just going to have to. And the beautiful thing about this is white women understand. Mexican women understand, right? All these women, Puerto Ricans, like, it don't matter your race. Women across the nation are like, oh, hell no, not with the state of mind that these men are in. I was going to tell y'all this, but I had posted on Facebook, right? I went on a date. The guy helped fill my fridge and I was all proud. So I showed it on Facebook, right? And it was supposed to be restricted so only certain people can see it. But my restrict button on my app has not been staying. Okay. So I probably need to go back and on the computer and do it so that it all restricts how I'm used to restricting, if that makes sense. But this dude gets in my comments jealous as hell because he was in my inbox, right, trying to get with me, telling me how awesome I am. In fact, the very last message I have from this man tells me how much of an awesome woman I am, right? And the thing about that is this man didn't know anything about me. So it was like, yeah, whatever. Like, you capping, right? I know who I am. And maybe he felt that way, but online, it's too soon to know that, right? So he tells me that I'm awesome. So the first time he and I get into it, because I never committed to anything like a date or anything, because I already know I'm not built for every man at all. Okay. I refuse to entertain a man that speaks red pill rhetoric. So the moment any sort of red pill comes out, I'm telling you, that's a red flag. I pay attention. I'm aware. So as this man is trying to get my number, as he's trying to get to know me, quote unquote, he's digging his own grave for me, right? I don't even have to be disrespectful about it. So one day he makes a post I made a post about how I don't need a man. And he goes into talking about how, oh, well, you need a man and and we all need somebody and I need a woman, went into the whole rhetoric about what do they always say? Well, man built this country and It's so exhausting. It's exhausting. And I remember my homies, because I've got, a few male friends, right, that are genuinely my friends that genuinely care about me, who jumped in and got on his behind, okay? Got on his behind about, a woman needing a man and all that jazz. Told him if he needs somebody that bad, he need to go get a dog, right? So he stopped talking to me. I already knew he'd be in his feelings because a man like that can't handle the heat. He can't. He can dish it, but he can't take it, right? So I ended up posting this post, and this guy comments under my page and talks about how, well, did you cook for him? And immediately I started laughing. He said, well, did you cook for him at least? I started laughing. I said, no. I said, he told me to send him a picture of what I cook. So when I cook something, I'll send him a picture. This man laughs at my post and just being petty, doesn't have a real legitimate reason to laugh because I didn't say anything funny. I'm speaking the truth. Now, I laughed at his post because it's like, yeah, right. Like, what? Who do you think I am? Type shit, right? So I do all that, and I find out that because I kind of asked him, I said, well, and I stated it because I was curious, right? And I said, well, I didn't say anything that was very funny. Of course, he gonna respond and say, well, I really didn't say anything that was funny either, but you laughed. And I said, well, yeah, I said, I laughed at the way you think, like your mindset. Not knowing that I had already knew his mindset by asking that question. Okay. Not knowing that the moment he said what he said about me cooking, I already knew where he was going with it. It's so predictable. So that's why it was funny to me. But I'm gonna let him prove me right because I'm only assuming at this point. He didn't really elaborate, right? So he goes in and he starts saying, well, what the fuck? Like, you could have at least cooked for him. And I'm thinking, nigga, are you dating this nigga or am I? Like, what? And I'm thinking, like, this man has no idea who the hell, like, and I don't need to explain anything. I don't need to go into who the man is, his morals and his values, what he, would deem a little too much, right? Because I don't know this man well enough to be cooking for him. He had extra food that he happened to come up on. The food was free. Like, okay, what am I? He got the same food in his freezer that I got in mine. So, I mean, no offense, I don't think a meal was actually necessary. Now, if he was living in my house, and I say this all the time, right? Because it's a different dynamic when you're living with a man versus a man living in your house. And let's say I was poor and in poverty or something like that, right? And a man brought some food in my fridge and filled my freezer up, I might cook him something. But that wasn't necessarily the scenario, right? I didn't ask for this. I don't necessarily need him to give me food. I appreciate it. Anybody who's offered free food is going to take it. I can do stuff with it. So why not? Why not? So then after that, the man, I mean, he's all in his emotions too, because it's obvious he's cursing, like, what the WTF. Now, I understand that's symbolic for what the fuck, but I'm like, bro, you don't even know me to be talking to me like that. I'm not cursing at you. I'm not getting belligerent with you. I'm just letting you know that I find your mindset to be very funny. But he got defensive. Well, the least you could do, where's your mindset? Your mindset, if you want to talk about mindsets, where's your mindset? Keep in mind, y'all, I'm an accountant, right? I may not be perfect, but I damn sure have my life together. So I'm confused, right? At that point, I didn't insult his mindset. I just laughed at the comment. Now, him laughing at me was not, it wasn't the proper response for the situation, because he asked me a question and I responded honestly. But because his feelings got hurt because I'm laughing at him, now he want to laugh at me. It's a tit for tat bullshit. So off the rip, I remember that this was the man who was in my inbox trying to talk to me, asking me if I would ever date him, and me being like, I don't know. I can't say yes or no. I don't know you. And he's handsome looking, at least, right? So there's a little bit there. Can I take you on a date? We'll see. That was my response. Not, I don't know. We'll see. Because I don't know him. I want to watch you. I'm a girl that rather watch how you move, because that's going to tell me more about a man than what it comes out of his mouth. So I'm seeing the situation, right? And I finally asked him, I said, why are you so hostile? Because as a black woman, like, the whole argument is that black women are hostile, we're defensive, we're all these things. And I asked him, why are you so aggressive? Like, why are you so hostile? Is this how you talk to all women? Because I mean, realistically, he's cursing at me and he insulted me. What the fuck is wrong with you and your mindset? Why did it even, I didn't say anything was wrong with yours, but apparently it might be. Why does my laugh bother you so much? Right? Why does me not cooking for this grown ass man that got himself, I promise you, 10 times together than this little boy? Why does that bother you so much? If the man that I'm dating has no problem with it, why does that bother him so much? And so, like I said, if I was dealing with a man that was homeless, right, and he was in my house and he just filled up my freezer, hell yeah, I'd cook for you. That if that's who I'm dealing with, but I'm not dealing with that kind of man. I'm dealing with a man that got his own. He can do it on his own. He don't need me to cook for him. And I don't know the man. I'm not a pick me, bro. I'm not about to be cooking for no. The fuck? I got shit to do. Just because you offer me free food don't mean I'ma like cook for you. It'd be different if I really needed the food. But the man felt like seeing me that day, talking to me, you know what I mean? That was enough for him. Because see, when you are a woman that's really on your stuff, I'm finding men will give you things. I've had men give me money and no strings attached. It's just like, I see you out here doing your thing, and they all say it like that. That's just what it is. No strings attached. Here you go. So this wasn't a situation where I'm gonna fill up your freezer so you could feed me. No, it was, hey, I like you, so I'm gonna do something kind for you. The least I can do is tell him thank you, maybe give him a hug, right? But that's how it actually works in the real world. Like, I shouldn't have to, I'm not about to start cooking for no nigga. The fuck? That's doing too much. Not when the food was free and I didn't ask for it. That is doing too fucking much. And it ain't like what he's getting me, he don't have at home. He got the exact same shit. So what am I cooking that he hasn't already ate? Let's keep it 1,000. So this man want to go in, well, I'm not being hostile. Like, he tried to gaslight me so bad. Let me tell y'all, I ended up winning this conversation. I love myself, man. I promise you. He ends up telling me, because I'm not gonna argue with you. Like, to some degree, right? I'm a grown-ass woman. I'm not yo bitch. Like, I don't need to explain myself to you. I don't even need to discuss how I came up on the food. None of that. I don't need to have that conversation with a male who is too immature to even understand what just transpired. Just saying. I'm not. And let's be clear, the food was posed towards the kids, so I'm supposed to cook the kids' food for him? Like, real men don't do that shit. He gave it to me because he wanted me to have it. That's it. I've never had to do anything outside of being me to get something from a man. You understand? So I'm not used to. I'm a girl, bro. Like, You do something for me, in my mind, it's kind of like, okay, cool. And I say thank you. And you'll see my big L smile, but okay, that's about as far as it goes. My roommate used to give me stuff all the time, just on GP, just randomly. Here you go. I would have all these gifts. I'm taking them, but did I like cook for him? No. Did I massage his feet? No. A woman like me don't have to do all that, bro. I don't know what these other women be doing, but it ain't me. I ain't trying to keep a nigga. Like, I want to keep them, but the way to keep them is to not be doing all that shit. Be a girl. Learn how to be a girl. That's where people mess up. So when men give me stuff, I'm so used to just be giving stuff. I'm not used to giving. I give back, but in my own way. And the men don't have to tell me to give back to them. Like, that's not how this works. So this man ended up going in. You're crazy. You must be reading the wrong comments. Yada yada yada. First of all, WTF, bro? How I'm reading it is not WTF. I'm reading it as what the fuck. Right? Let's keep it a buck. Is this how you talk to all women? That's what I asked him. I'm curious because you're in my inbox trying to date me. Now I need to know, is this how you speak to women? Oh, well, you must be reading the wrong comments. I don't know what you're talking about. Go have fun cooking your food that he bought you. At least he bought me some food. What did you do? He didn't just buy me food. He bought me food for like the next 3 months. He came with something. And that ain't enough. This is still as a woman, right? But he's adding value to my life already. He just started. He don't even know me. You understand? That man just put 3 months worth of chicken in my freaking fridge. Probably even more than that because I don't eat like that in my freezer. But this man had the nerve to talk about, oh, well, he bought it for you. First of all, I'm an accountant. Like, I could have bought myself some chicken if I wanted to. So to imply what is being implied was, oh, like maybe I'm some broke bitch that I done asked him for some food and I'm so hungry and starving. No, not at all. Maybe she would have to cook for you. Because if I'm begging a nigga for food, yeah, I could see having to cook if he's paying. But I already have it. That's the thing. I didn't need it. I think he knows that. That's why he offered. You'd be surprised how many men will give women things just on GP, just for being a woman, bro. And that ain't no simping. This man got my attention in a whole year I dated, right? In a whole year, I have not, year and really a half. It's been almost 2. I haven't dated someone. I've dated, but it was like real quick because, I don't do awkward. I don't do cheap. I'm not about to be doing museums and shit. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. That ain't my shit. Now, the art museum, maybe. Because I can get lost in the paintings. But science and all, man, it's for little kids. Go put them little kids up there. Maybe the old people that want to go on a date. But for me personally, that is not that just wasn't flying for me. So I've dated, but I'm picky. And one thing I've always said, if I date a man, I'm not going to compromise who I am to be with that man. And for the first time, I feel like I found somebody who understands how important that is. And he understands that because I found you this way and I like you this way, I really don't want you to change and become anything different than this way. That's a man. A man that's like, nah, I'm not trying to really, I want you to be independent still. Yes, I'm looking for a wife, but at the end of the day, I want my wife to be independent. I want my wife to have her own. I want my wife to chase her career and have a life, friends, everything outside of me. That's a man. That's a confident man. That's a man that knows he brings more to the table than what any woman really understands. That's a man that knows that he is someone of value, simple and plain. And off the rip, I didn't need to be with him. I have not, like, honestly, I met with him once and then seen him again for like 2 seconds. But already is adding value, not just to my life, but my daughter's life. My daughter was super happy about them chicken nuggets. So when I'm talking to this man, it's like, oh my God, y'all are night and day. Like what I just attracted to myself versus what seems to be the average guy, the everyday person. I think I like this guy more and more because I'm like, bro, you are what it is that I would expect from a man. So, the man ended up saying what he had to say, and I could have easily been like, yo, I didn't buy, went into explaining, but I'm not. What I told this man, because he want to say that I read the comments wrong. And what I told him was I read it 100% correct. I'm not stupid. I know what's being said. The moment you curse at me shows me you have zero respect for me. If I was ever to date you and or even engage in a level of relationship with you at any level, you would curse at me. That's disrespectful. You don't want me cursing at you? You damn sure ain't about to curse at me. And I told him that. I said, listen, I know one thing. You ain't gonna be cursing at me too much longer. That's when that man said what he said about, go have fun cooking, because he was ending the conversation because he understood. He tried to play it off like he didn't know what I was talking about. But I don't have a kindergarten level of a thought process, right? And I damn sure ain't backing down from no weak ass male. You will respect me, sir, or you will, I don't need to go into the blocking thing, but you already know if he had said something ignorant, block. That would have been immediate. I don't play those games. You're not going to disrespect me. You ain't going to curse at me. I don't tolerate that. Nobody around me curses at me. They may curse in a sentence, but they're not cursing at me. So I know you're going to get that shit together. That's when that man was like, well, go have fun, cook, And I let him know, you must be reading the wrong comments, bro. Why? See, because what he didn't understand is by me asking, I already know why he asked me if I cooked. I already know this. I already know this. I already know the mentality, the person that is speaking in terms of their thought process as it pertains to women. I did not want to entertain that. Like once I saw that he was going to the extent that he did in terms of cursing at me, really trying to like make it seem like I don't know what I'm crazy, like, oh my God, like what the fuck is wrong with you? That's what he said. That's where the conversation about the actual post goes away. And now we're only touching on your disrespect. That's it. Because you clearly don't understand the dynamics. I don't know you from a can of paint. So I'm not going to be arguing with you about what I know to be true and what I know you don't know nothing about. Okay. And then, like I said, the image that he painted is drastically different than what is actually happening, like the reality of things. So that's, I feel like I don't got to explain myself. But if you want to continue to be on my page, because I understand we all have our differences in opinion, you're going to respect me. That's not a must. That's not a, a if. It's a must. And I'm pretty sure he recognized, see, because the reality of it is he was jealous of somebody, whether it was me or the dude. I don't know. But for him to get all rah-rah about the shit, like that's doing too much. It ain't your food. You didn't buy it. So why you give a fuck? And when I tell you that the man told me to take a picture of the food as I make it, if the man wanted more, do you think that would have been the only, like, get the fuck out of here? That's what the man told me to do. And I met him for like 2 seconds so he could put the food in my trunk and then I left. So if there was more to the story that really needed to be there, the man would have made it kind of clear, right? Do you understand? There was no bad beef. He hit me up, same persistent man, same consistent man that I've known since I met, right? So what the fuck is this dude talking about? Just running his mouth based upon what he thinks a man wants. Okay. Last time I checked, this man just told me I was pretty amazing. So I think I'm doing something right. Anywho, um, so when I told the man that, I was reading the situation 100% correct, and this is another example why women will be voting for Kamala, is because men like him are exhausting and they're dimes a dozen. They are exhausting and they are dangerous. Like I keep saying, that's emotionally unhinged. I keep telling him, I was like, why are you so unhinged? Why are you so hostile? I'm going to just start using that for men who get aggressive for no reason. You don't want me to be aggressive to you, so why are you getting all that with me? Why curse at me? You don't know me from a can of paint. Why curse at me? I'm not your ex-girlfriend. So why the fuck are you talking to me like that? And I'm really not the girl that tolerates that shit. Trust and believe. So you know what he ended up doing, which I thought was so funny, but you know what? I would have been so petty if I put him on blast. I even thought about hitting him up in his messenger and being like, now, nigga, like, don't ever do that shit to me again. Or talk to me like that again. He ended up taking his comments down. I was like, I thought you were so right. Why are you taking them down? Because when you really go back and read it, I'm hitting this dude up with one word, one sentence. He's hitting me up with paragraphs, all in his emotions about what he thought I should be doing for some other nigga. The fuck? That's gay as fuck. Why are you worried about another man that don't even know you and 9 times out of 10 ain't worried about you? The fuck? Like, it's some gay shit, bro. I don't care how you look at it. He arguing with me like how a female would be arguing with me about what I should be doing with my man. Why, as a man, do you think it's appropriate to tell me what you think I should and should not be doing with a man that clearly is okay with me? It's weird. Weird shit. So when I kept pointing out he's unhinged, because he is, that is crazy ass shit. You are hostile. Y'all gotta understand something. Every response he said showed and proved that he was hostile, defensive. See, now I can use these words and they make sense. Oh no, I'm not defensive. You're crazy. Well, why you take them comments down? Why you delete them? Men stand on what they say, right? So if you're gonna delete it, why the fuck even say it? Like, people, I don't get it. So that was my little experience with the red pill today, okay? But I'm not the girl for it. I promise you. Like, when a woman really loves herself, you're not about to run game on her. No, you damn sure are not going to convince me of what you think I should be doing. I don't even trust you enough to trust your word. I don't know you. I didn't ask you for relationship advice last time I checked. So the fuck? Shoot, you couldn't even the mentality of the person trying to tell me what they think I should have been doing ain't even ready for a relationship. That's not a relationship mentality. That's I'm a boy and I'm bitter and I'm angry for whatever reason and I'm jealous. It gives all jealousy. All jealousy. So now I'm pointing out his emotional state. Either he must have went back and reread what he wrote. Cause it was pretty obvious, bro, that like, what the fuck? Like I didn't insult you. I mean, if you thought that my laugh was an insult, like that's on you. And the only reason why I said I didn't realize I was telling a joke is because I knew that he was intentionally laughing at me as a tit for tat, not because there was a real reason to laugh. So you mad because I didn't affirm who you are? And I'm gonna laugh at you every time you come on my page with some bullshit, some red pill nonsense. I didn't invite you over here, homie. Like, real talk. So the moment you spit some bullshit, because in my head, I'm like, dude, you should know by now you and I don't see relationships the same. Right? Like, he should know this. So why do you think that you're even entitled to be on my page? Talking the shit you talking. That's crazy. Cause I don't give a damn. I'm gonna roast your ass before you roast me. I promise you. Now you could say whatever you want to say about my looks, but to me, it's like, to me, anyway. I feel like men have. I can't even take you seriously when you comment on my looks because I don't know that men are the gatekeeper of makeup and fucking hair and shit. And I get told that I'm beautiful all the time. So it's very hard to believe someone when they're commenting on my appearance because anybody who knows me knows that's some bullshit. So that's where I'm at with it, man. Men like him are going to make it worse for, watch. Y'all going to start seeing Kamala. She's going to win. I put money on it. And it ain't even have nothing to do with her intelligence level, who she is. I don't think people care about that. I'm telling you now, it's really not about that. There's a much bigger issue at stake. It's bigger than all of these issues combined, which is women's rights. Simple and plain. And all women are seeing right now is who is going to help me maintain my rights, because the other side is talking about taking them. And when you have males that are unhinged and hostile, you cannot afford for your rights to be taken away because you can't trust that these men have your back. So last thing I want to talk about, right, is who what's his name? Biden. So they're finally going through this impeachment process with Biden. And I think they're trying to make sure that Biden can never, ever step foot back in the White House again. But I mean, whatever. It's all a dog and pony show. So I don't know what's up and what's down on that just yet. But what I feel like is this was an opportunity because he stepped down. Now we can go after him. Two, I'm curious to see how it would play out if he's impeached prior to, the next president being sworn into office. Who becomes president? Is it the Secretary of State? I can't remember. I'm gonna have to do some research. I forgot how that works. Secretary of State or the VP? If it's the Secretary of State, I mean, Lord have mercy. I'm pretty sure Secretary of State is for Trump, right? So I don't know about all that. But as far as if it's the VP, then Kamala's got this in the bag. But I think there's a lot of racism being stirred up. I think that there's a lot of racism that we're seeing in the opposite race. Okay. Not really women, because women have always understood that when it's time to get on board, it's time to get on board. And so I really see why all races of women coming together. I do believe that some women of other races are going to have hesitancy, maybe not immigrants, but Caucasian women. I can see them having an issue with Kamala being in the office just as much as I can see black men, right? And Caucasian males, not all, because there's a lot that are supporting Kamala right now, but a large sector that will continue to vote for Donald Trump because they do not want to see a black woman. It has nothing to do with a woman as much as it has to do with a black woman. See, because not only is she a woman, but she's black. Hence why when Kamala went to go speak in Indianapolis, I thought the speech was better. I understand that some people are against her speaking on to her sorority, but her sorority, like, I don't think people understand how sororities work. Those are your like teammates for life. So why wouldn't they show up to support her, especially if she had such a big um presence, I guess, in that sorority? It only makes sense for her sorority sisters to show up. It does. And the fact that she's recognizing them and speaking out and speaking on them a little bit, I actually think that's a good thing. I know that listen, other sororities and other fraternities advertise and boost their own people up, right? At any time, right? Why can't she do that for hers? That's crazy. So you have this clip of this male going around talking about how let me play it for y'all. Let me go ahead and play it for y'all. And then I'll give you guys what I think, my commentary on this. Did I download it? It didn't save. Oh no. Or maybe I didn't upload it. I thought I did. But it was a clip of someone on Fox News calling Kamala Harris's sorority group colored. And I was watching that clip and I'm just kind of thinking like, wow, that was bold to say. You got JD Vance talking bad about single women and moms and on national television, because you got to understand, when these conversations are being had on TV, it almost gives it the green light that these conversations are allowed to be had, period. So when you have people talking about excuse me, talking about how, you know, the whole colored thing, and they're bringing all these extreme conversations to the news, and these conversations are being had on national television, it's bad. That means it's going to embolden people to talk like that and be that way. So this whole rhetoric about colored sorority, he should have just said sorority. But then I seen another clip. I didn't get to watch it. Like, I've been busy, right, doing my thing. But I seen another clip that was titled Colored Sorority, but it had hearts and all blue. So I'm thinking, oh, okay. Like, maybe she said she was part of a colored sorority. I did watch what she said, but I wasn't glued to the screen, but I played it and was listening to a lot of it, right? I did not hear her say colored sorority. I don't really understand why she would say that, you know? But if she did, that would make sense as to why this man is saying, well, you know, colored sorority. If she didn't, he was kind of out of line. Cause I know, wow, if somebody starts calling me colored, I'm gonna be like, all right, no colored. Like, we gonna have these conversations in 2024, boy. I don't do the rate. Like, well, I'm not the girl that, listen, my personality type, I'm a, listen, I feel like by spirit, I don't even want to say I'm a Harriet Tubman, but boy, I'm a warrior, bro. Like, I really believe that this is not the time. I really hope we do not see a Handmaid's Tale, because I may have to be the girl that the main character in the Handmaid's Tale, but I would move a lot faster on a lot of things. I ain't having nobody's baby. I will find a way. I'm telling you, if I'm not alive, I don't mind going to my heavenly spot. So that's all I got to say on the matter, y'all. Y'all, the rhetoric with women, that's what's the scariest part. The conversations men are having about women. And this is why women need to vote for Kamala, hands down. Kamala is not the answer, by the way. Kamala is just a means to an end. Do you understand? Women in those next 4 years, we are really going to have to start fighting for certain things and getting certain things passed so that our rights remain intact. And then our next 4 years, right? We need to be voting for someone who represents us. And I think women understand that. So because men have decided that women's lives pretty much our rights, our basic human rights that God gave us are up for grabs on the table of politics. They have put themselves in a weird position and they put women in a weird position. There are going to be a lot of women voting in addition to these immigrants that are in here for Kamala. And it almost seems like the Democratic Party knew exactly what they were doing, even now, because who knew that that rhetoric was going to be so prevailing with Trump? I honestly, the first election, I didn't see all that. I understand what I said. Okay, locker room talk stuff we should know about. But like this conversation has now gone way too far. And Trump has not said enough to make me feel comfortable to vote for him. When you align yourself with someone, in my opinion, birds of a feather flock together. I'm not aligning myself with people that I don't see, I don't believe in. I don't support their ideologies. I'm not going to do that. So we'll see what happens, y'all. But that's my take on it. That being said, let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm out. Peace.